What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another daily Manchester City transfer update. We've got some big developments today, including a new contract that has been signed. So we're just going to dive straight on in with the latest contract news. We've got the very latest on Ruben Dias, and he has signed a new contract at Manchester City until 2029. His current contract before that was set to expire in June of 2027. His new contract is until June of 2029, so a 2-year contract extension to his current deal or a brand new 4-year contract. It's going to keep Ruben Dias at Man City until he is 32 years old, and Jack Gaughan has said that Man City view Ruben Dias as future captain material at the club, and with Bernardo Silva, the current captain at Man City, his contract is up next summer. Could Ruben Dias be the next Man City captain from next season for the next 3 seasons? And it would be nice to have a little bit of stability put onto our captaincy, as it just keeps getting passed around season upon season, with the older players who are having 1 year left of the contract taking over the captaincy. And it'd be good to be able to have a captain who's going to be here for longer than a season or two. So we'll see what does happen in terms of that. But fantastic news for Ruben Dias and Man City tying down their Portuguese centre-back for another 4 years. Now, moving on to the out, we've got the latest on Callum Doyle, and Wrexham announced the signing of Callum Doyle last night from City. Manchester Evening News says it's a £7.5 million fee, not £8 million that's previously been reported, and that deal does include a sell-on clause and a buyback clause, which Manchester City could activate if they wanted to. So firstly, wanted to say the best of luck to Callum in North Wales, and who knows, we may be seeing him in the Premier League sooner rather than later with Wrexham, and I do look forward to seeing Callum in the Wrexham documentary as well. It is believed that this fee is being paid as £5 million as an upfront fee. It was previously reported as £3 million in bonuses, so I'm going to presume that it's a £5 million upfront fee with £2.5 million in bonuses. Now, moving on, we've got the latest on Ilkay Gundogan, and this is something I'm keeping my eyes and ears open for the next week or so of what we've got remaining in this transfer window, because Ilkay Gundogan continues to get linked with the exit door at Man City, and Fabrizio Romano has put some clarity on what was reported on yesterday, where there's a lot of interest in Ilkay Gundogan for the remainder of this window. And Fabrizio Romano has said that there's interest coming in from Turkey, which we've been speaking about all summer. He says that there's interest coming in from the United States of America. There's also interest coming in from Saudi Arabia, and it's believed that some other top European clubs are interested in bringing in Ilkay Gundogan this summer as well. So we'll see what does happen. What I'm going to say is I don't think it's out of the question just yet that Gundogan could still leave Man City this summer, but it depends on other players leaving the club as well and what happens with that. And one of them players that could leave the club that I'm keeping my eyes open for is Manuel Akanji, and Jack Gaughan has said that Akanji is now debating his Man City future. Galatasaray are prepared to pay the £15 million to see the green light given by Man City. So the question is, are Galatasaray going to get the green light from Manuel Akanji? Manuel Akanji wants to take a little time to decide about his future. Akanji does have some interest coming in from other clubs as well, and it has been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano that this bid has come in from Galatasaray, £15 million. Man City will accept that bid, but it's up to Galatasaray now to sort out the personal terms with Manuel Akanji, and Manuel Akanji does want to take a little bit of time to decide on what he wants to do next. So I'm not expecting clarity on this in the near future, but I am expecting some updates to pop up over the coming days as Akanji basically decides on what he wants to do next. Does he want to remain at Man City, or does he want to go and pursue a move to Galatasaray? He'll want to see what the conditions are of that contract, of course, and we'll see what does happen. I'll be honest, I do have my doubts about Akanji leaving City, but we'll see. Wouldn't surprise me if he did, but I do have my doubts about this transfer. And Pep Guardiola has given a little bit of clarity on this as well in his press conference in the build-up to Man City v Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League tomorrow. Pep Guardiola has gone on to say that when asked about both the futures of Manu Akanji and Nathan Ake, he said that they are our players. However, he doesn't know what is going to happen, and he does expect some movement in the transfer market by Man City in the coming days. That means players are going to leave, and potentially if players players leave, there may be 1 or 2 new faces coming in depending on which players are to leave. Now, in terms of an update from Pep Guardiola, he has said that Ederson is available this weekend for Man City, so we'll see if he makes the squad and we'll see if he starts this weekend. Savinho, he's out injured and he's going to be missing the game against Tottenham Hotspur. We'll see if Nathan Ake and Manuel Akanji are in the squad, and if they end up starting this game or not will give you a good impression about where their futures lie, as they've been linked with the exit door this week. Pep Guardiola was very open last week with the futures of players. He was open today, but not as open as he was last week. So I'm not too sure why that was, and whether the City Chiefs have said to Pep, stop being so open about what's going on in the transfer market, as he seemed to confirm all the confusion around Ederson and Savinho, which I can't imagine Man City would have wanted such public information out there. Whereas this week, Pep Guardiola open, but not as open. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. We'll see. Anyway, moving on to the ins, we've got the very latest on Rodrygo, and despite some rumours of Liverpool's interest, it has been confirmed that Man City are keen on Rodrygo. It is all dependent, as per Fabrizio Romano, on what happens with Savinho, and if we get developments on that, we will get developments on Rodrygo from Real Madrid to Man City as well. He says that Rodrygo to Man City cannot progress whilst we're not getting developments on Savinho. Savinho's transfer to Tottenham has been described as very complicated and difficult to do, but it isn't impossible that it could be done, and I do expect Tottenham Hotspur, upon the conclusion of the game against Man City tomorrow, to step up their interest in Savinho. So I suspect we're going to get developments on this at some point next weekend. It isn't out of the question that Savinho could leave and Rodrygo could still be brought in, but we're into crazy season now in the transfer market. Things can change very quickly, so I'll keep my eyes and ears open on that. But Rodrygo, very much of interest to Man City still, but it does depend on what happens with Savinho. Now, moving on to the final transfer, we've got a new name I want to speak about. Senna Lammens, a 23-year-old goalkeeper from Belgium, plays for Royal Antwerp and has been linked with a move to Man City. Apparently the fee you're looking at here is just over £15 million. Anyway, it had been reported by Sacha Tavolieri over in Belgium that Man City were potentially wanting to make a move and angling towards him being brought in. So I don't know, all my notes were full of a segment of how Man City could potentially be targeting a brand new number 2, so they're going to let Stefan Ortega leave because he wants to pursue first team football ahead of the World Cup next year. That's why Man City aren't taking up the option of keeping Stefan Ortega this summer. He wants to be a first choice keeper. He wants to be going to the World Cup next summer with Germany, and the only way he's going to do that is being a first choice keeper. We brought James Trafford in. He's not going to be the City's first choice keeper, so Stefan Ortega, I'm expecting movement on that before transfer deadline day. So if he does leave and Ederson leaves, it does open up the possibility that James Trafford could be Man City's new number 1, and we could be looking towards a new number 2, which is what's been suggested here by Sacha Tavolieri. Sacha Tavolieri had also gone on to say that City were struggling to afford a fee with Paris Saint-Germain for Gianluigi Donnarumma, and City were struggling with the negotiations with the player in terms of the contract and the fee that has to be paid to PSG. So Man City were looking at alternatives and looking at Lammens, but Fabrizio Romano has said that codswallop, not happening. That isn't the case at all. He says that Man City not interested in signing Senna Lammens. Man City are only interested in replacing Ederson this summer with Gianluigi Donnarumma from PSG, which has been Fabrizio's stance right from the start. And Fabrizio Romano putting his reputation very much on the line. So if Ederson does end up leaving, we'll see if it is Donnarumma or not. Fabrizio Romano seems to think so, and he'll be getting strong word from Donnarumma's camp about strong interest from Man City. So we'll see what does happen. But in terms of Lammens from Royal Antwerp, it's not happening. The Guardian have reported just in the last hour or so that Manchester United are closing in on signing Lammens from Royal Antwerp for €20 million, which is £17.32 million, and Manchester City won't be signing Lammens. So there you go, that's the latest. So please do leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 400 likes once more. Any help towards that would be great. Do get your thoughts as well in the comments below. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. I'm going to keep you guys up to date every single day here on YouTube with all the latest City transfer news. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. It is free. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. And I'll see you religiously tomorrow for the next daily City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.